Quite a few viewers have asked me to show a bit more of the land here, so I thought that perhaps showing the road would be a good one. So if I do a video about the road, our road is based on the country lanes like this one, which are sort of local, with this little grass verge and the hedge bank. So we're trying to sort of recreate this as much as possible so it kind of fits in with the local area and gives lots of habitats and space for things. What we haven't done though is had the roadside ditches, so we've done the drainage a bit differently. I did start it like that, but then I thought no, I could do the drainage better because this goes away really quickly, so our drainage system is different. But the road is just based on these roads here. This part here that's all dug down, that's going to be the road, and it's going to be, I don't know, maybe hardcore, maybe with concrete, maybe with resin, maybe with tarmac. I'm not sure yet. I haven't finished it yet, so I've still got time to decide. So this bit here is the grass verge beside it, and here I did dig a ditch originally, but I decided to fill that in when I did the drainage differently. And here, the water's rushing down here. It goes down here into this pond down there, and I've got all these different bits where the water goes rather than having it going down a ditch straight into the river, straight out to sea and gone. This gives it a chance to soak into the ground and spend longer kind of being there. And I've got those ponds full of water that catch all the rainwater, and pretty much every drop of rain that falls on here ends up in a pond. Also, the road was sort of done first really, and then other bits were sort of done after it was done. This bit here looks like it's like just going down with the bank either side and contained, but in actual fact this little bit's a ridge here, because if you look down this side here, you've got the sloping orchard going down to the ponds and everything down here. So it's like a good viewpoint through the orchard before the trees come out. But then this side also is like a little dug valley that feeds into the pond that way. So rainwater comes down this way, and then it all goes down into here, so it sort of like feeds all the water from the top of the land into this pond here, and then stores it there, and that works really well. So it makes this little road here kind of on a little bit of a ridge. So today I'll just do like a tour of the road and adjoining bits and talk about how the road was made. As I removed this this soil here from where the road is going to be, then I sort of put some of it here because this was all a slope going downhill, so I didn't want it to be a slope, but I did have this ditch here which has been since filled in. You can see in places where the soil sagged a bit where the ditch used to be, and I thought, well, this is just like the local roads, you know, it's a ditch going along it, but I thought no, the water's going away too quickly, so I changed it and had it going through the ponds instead. And then here, nice hedge bank there, and it's kind of higher on the other side because it's lower down on the other side, and it makes this whole bit feel kind of contained, like it's just an ordinary country lane. But then here, when it's finally full and surfaced, the water coming down here from the rain would all pour into here and have another kind of entrance into this pond. So it's like it literally catches all the rain as it comes past. And then I've still got these bits from pruning the hedges. I've got to carry them off to the bonfire at some point. But here you see, this pond catches all of the rain from the whole top of the road, and then everything else. You can see all of the land here is all sloping towards the pond. So it literally catches everything. And even though we've had a very dry, really last year, but especially the spring and the winter, look, it's still pretty much almost completely full. It's about that far from the high water mark. So that's very good. And here, you can see all these piles of wood. This bank here is higher on, the land is higher on this side and lower on this side, because from this point here, the road kind of slopes down away from the pond. So any rain falling beyond this point goes down into the next pond. This is one of the smallest lengths of hedge here. It just sort of screens the first part of the orchard here and sort of comes up just to where the open bit by the pond starts. But I thought I'd like it like that because then further down where you've got the gap there, it just the road then goes through orchard, just got like orchard on the side there, but still kind of hedged off on this side. So behind you've got this like orchard here, and the orchard is finished and fully landscaped up that side. But all this side over here isn't landscaped yet. The trees are kind of planted on little mounds at the height I want the soil to be, and then this is a pile of topsoil which is going to be at some point malleted up, mixed with a bit of sand because it's very clay here, and then put in between the trees here. So all this bit of orchard here is like, so you walk down the road and then you sort of just see all the open orchard. I thought that was kind of nice rather than having big banks all the way down. And then right opposite this open bit here without a hedge bank, just going straight onto the orchard, you've then got this other little bit that comes down here like a kind of mini little dead end bit of lane that branches off into different bits. Like here, it branches off into what will be the subtropical garden, and then just down here, you've got an entrance into the orchard there. But then this like pond edge bit, I'm not sure that puts to be landscaped. If you come down here a minute, you've got this entrance into the subtropical garden, what will be the subtropical garden. And then this is nicely sheltered here. You've got these nice hedge banks. It's facing south that way, so it's sort of southwest facing here. And then hedge bank there, hedge bank at the end, and then the water should keep it above freezing more than other places. So this is going to be hopefully my subtropical garden, but I need to cut down this subsoil to be just above water level roughly, and then all this bit here is all topsoil, which will go on top of it when it's finished. From here you can see the orchard from below, and all this hedge here coming around is all the road. So it's sort of like neatly contained behind the hedge, only one entrance up there to get it to the road, and then this one entrance here. So the whole orchard feels like it's a totally different place, and you can't just kind of walk from one to the other. So it makes it feel kind of bigger because you've got to walk more to get from one to the other. But it also makes the orchard very contained and nice, more sheltered and things. So yeah, this bit here isn't done yet. What's done is the top terrace. So this is probably going to be split into a number of terraces, probably extending a bit into what's now pond over here, and just like lots of sheltered terraces coming down, getting lower and lower till they're just one's just a few feet above the pond, maybe 3 or 4, possibly one terrace which is just a path. I'm not sure really, but it's as I get closer to it, I get more of a kind of mental picture developing. So I continue on down the road here, and it sort of just continues with like orchard one side, subtropical garden the other side. But when it goes down here, it all changes. Here the road goes through a little series of hairpin bends, or one kind of hairpin bend, 2 sharp corners, and this was a kind of steep bit here. So I had to kind of bend it a bit so it wasn't so steep, because I wanted to keep it all kind of a level gradient. And I've wanted to bend the road. I have little straight bits and bendy bits, because if you've just got a straight road you can just see to the end of it. It's not very interesting, you know, it makes it seem smaller. So having these bends, it makes the road a bit longer. It takes longer to come down it, but it also means it's not as steep. If I had the road going straight, it would be probably 3 times the gradient, because this road is about 3 times longer than it would be if it was straight. And of course it makes it seem longer, it takes longer to get down there. It just makes everything feel bigger and look bigger. So here it comes down, there's one corner, and then just there it goes into this other corner here. This bank here is way higher than it is on the other side, on the orchard side. It's only about a foot high, 2 feet high that side, but here it gets up to like 5 feet high, because this was really cut down here, all with pickaxe and shovel. All of this road has been done by hand, and yeah, this was really quite a muddy bit originally as well. So just on that corner there, it starts turning into woodland. This corner is designed so you don't really know exactly when you stop coming down the road and you're into the woods. The woods really starts about here on this corner, so it's kind of a debatable woodland begins here. And if you see here then I've got these bigger trees, and then here around this bend you start coming into the woodlands, and then this road then has, I haven't put banks along the side of it, I've just had it so you can, it's just open woodland. As you're coming down here, you just can see all the woodland plants and everything. You haven't got a great big bank blocking it or anything. And then you can see all of the woodland flowers, and that's really nice. Here's a little path into the garden, and the next one up is of course the way into the subtropical garden. So you've got quite a big bit where you can't get from the parallel road to the parallel garden, and that I guess makes it seem bigger. You've only got these two entrances and then one entrance a bit further down and then another one a bit further down. So the road just continues down here a bit. You can see just in here, but just get in there a minute, don't step on anything. There's a little a bit for the drainage here, and this connects different ponds. So the overflow from one pond comes down here, and it replaces what was the ditch system, and that sort of makes the water take a longer journey, more bendy, and not just a straight line going boom. So that's kind of good. And then the road kind of comes up to it here and then bends away from it again. And this allows me to have lots more different habitats for different wild plants rather than just a ditch. Because we've got like a little kind of damp bit where there's some wild garlic growing, and then you've got drier bits where there's primroses and wild daffodils. You've got lots of different habitats for lots of different plants with it done this way. Right here, the bit with the drainage on goes underneath a pipe under the road here, and this bit's a little bit deeper, and just past it here, you've got a few little paths and things branching off. So this here, you've got like a little woodland path network going off that way, and then just over here you've got the driveway into the garden. Here is like similar width road here. The driveway will bend off that way, and then here you've got a drainage system from the pond up there, and what will be a little path network and some shrubs and things here. Haven't really got much done in the garden. I wanted to get the woods and the orchard done first. But if you look here, you can see the ponds and the orchard from this angle. So here, the garden up to the orchard is the main look across viewpoint here. So this is as far as we've dug up to so far by hand here, and then here it's not dug yet. So this needs to be kind of measured and dug down along here through the woods here. Again, kind of opening out in, so you just see across the woods. So just a nice kind of woodland experience. And then here is where we've started digging again, and I haven't dug it to its full width yet. So it's I haven't decided exactly where it's going to come to. So just digging where I definitely know there's going to be road, and then I can add it, measure it with bamboo canes, and probably will come up to around about here somewhere. And then this side here will probably come right out to here. So no grass verge here, just straight through the woods, so you can see out to the woods on both sides. It's taken me over a decade to dig this out so far, and all of these hedges and things on the side and the banks were all built out of the stuff I've removed as I'm working my way down. So at the moment, building like a woodland mound feature to create more kind of habitats for different plants there, and there'll be another footpath going off that way. Oh, and of course another footpath going off that way, and then there's like another little mound bit coming here, and probably the road will come right up to this here, I should think. Here it's all dried up at the moment, but this is where I have my slop quarry at the moment, and I just pickaxe or mallet the soil here, mix it with the water here, and then move it in bucket to, or shovels to where I want it, which is most likely to be here. And this is just going to be a mound here, creating a higher bit, diverting pedestrians this way up this little path here. And then when it's full, all this is water, and it's just really good to mix up the soil with, but it's been very dry at the moment, so until the next rain, or until I get some buckets of water from the pond, it will remain like this. So I haven't cut this section away yet. That's another little bit of topsoil reserve. But then this bit I have cut here. So again, it's not to its full width on either side, but it's taken out where I definitely want there to be road. And then the road sort of terminates just here. So you have this bank, which is also built out of where the tevs have been taken, and then it just splits into footpaths here. So this is as far as you could come down in a vehicle, just here. Altogether the road is roughly about a quarter of a mile long, and I don't know when it'll be finished, maybe this year, maybe next year, but it's certainly much more finished than it is not finished. And then here you've got a footpath going down that way, 2 footpaths going that way, so it kind of just ends and splits into multiple footpaths. All the drainage from all of these bottom bits is quite straightforward. It would just, when I've put the surface level on it, will all be kind of tipping towards one way or another. So this side here will all go into like an inlet of the bottom pond down there, and then round the corner there it will go over into the drainage bit the other side. So everywhere there are bits where the water has funneled off. If you can imagine here with the road finished, then the water would pour off and then into this here and going into then the pond. So it wouldn't have a build-up of water on the road in any place, it's all covered. Likewise with here, a bit further back up the road again, any rainwater gushing down this road here would be led into this little bit here between hedges, like a gap in the hedge bank, which then goes through here and into the big pond via the subtropical garden. So the way I've done this road is all about creating habitats, fitting in with the local environment, creating a feeling of distance and making it feel bigger, and of course drainage. Those are my main aims with the road. So it's a kind of nice pleasant experience walking up and down it, but of course when it's finished it's got a surface on it. It'll be really good because in the winter you can see these lumps here, and this is just gloopy mud all through the winter. It's so exhausting walking up here, but of course when it's surfaced it will be really good. And then the road will be like here, and then the grass beds along the side of it, and that should be good, isn't it, Khan? Do you want to go on my shoulder? All right. Okay, up we go. Yeah, that would be really good. Now, Khan didn't learn to go on my shoulder until he was about 2 or 3 years old. All the other ones that climb on shoulders all learnt when they were kittens, but Khan wanted to learn when he was like 2 or 3, and he's just not quite as good at balancing. So sometimes you get, so I've got to be kind of a bit careful with him, but he is getting better. And if he's like, sometimes he loses his balance and then, but hopefully that won't happen today. So it's also, the road gives kind of an easy access to all different parts. It kind of wiggles through the land, and then it has different ways to get to everywhere, and lots of interesting things to see. And of course this pond is the most finished of the ponds, all fully landscaped, and just really nice and establishing. This has been, the pond was dug 6 years ago, and then some of the landscaping was finished about 4 years ago, the last bits of landscaping around it. Yeah, it's all really established. It's just nice to see these very, very established bits. Also, the woods where you go through, a lot of that was planted more than a decade ago. So again, you're going through really established bits, and it gives me more inspiration to do more bits. When I can see all these bits on the main path that are established, and I know what things will look like when they are established, and it's very inspiring. You think, oh, there's a finished hedge. This is one I built before, and this is what it looks like now. So when it's the new one that's just mud and new trees, I can have a clear picture. It will look like this one day. So it's a very good, also boosting inspiration levels as well. That's another reason for doing this. So that's today's video. I think I might do another couple of walkabout out videos to do different bits of the land and things, but I thought I'd do the road to start with and see how that goes. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you press the little me somewhere down here, you can see all my other videos. And if you have any questions, please ask. I love answering questions. And I shall see you next time.